parents love their children and thus make long-term plans for them. As the saying goes, of all virtues, filial piety is foremost. Being filial to parents is the fundamental duty of children. In the past, the term parasitic behavior attracted much social attention. Young people were ashamed of it, not wanting to become dependent on their parents like parasites. However, with the passage of time, a new form of parasitic behavior has quietly emerged. It's like an invisible termite, silently eating away at parents' material and spiritual resources, yet many parents remain unaware. If your family exhibits any of the following 3 signs, it's time to be alert. Don't let this new type of parasitic behavior erode the harmonious relationship between you and your children. 1. Using studying as an excuse to avoid work. Have you heard of the term delayed employment? It refers to graduates not rushing to find a job after finishing college. Instead, they temporarily choose to prepare for exams such as graduate school, civil service, or teacher certification. Admittedly, job hunting pressure for university graduates is severe, and pursuing these exams to secure a better future is understandable. However, the premise of delayed employment requires a certain financial foundation, meaning they have no urgent economic pressure, allowing them to study in peace and prepare for various exams. This largely depends on financial support from parents. Take my cousin, for example. She didn't work and took the graduate school entrance exam 3 times, yet still failed. The first year she didn't pass, my aunt comforted her, saying it was okay, and she could try again next year. During this time, my aunt covered all her living expenses. My cousin complained the house was too noisy to study, so my aunt rented an apartment for her. Because my cousin's English and math skills were poor, my aunt paid over 6,000 yuan for tutoring classes. In addition, there were other expenses such as exam materials, professional books, registration fees, and hotels, totaling tens of thousands of yuan. But in the second year, she still didn't pass, not even reaching the national minimum score. My aunt advised her to get a job, which she did, but she quit after 3 months, claiming she didn't want to deal with her boss's attitude and still wanted to focus on the graduate exam. My aunt, having no other choice, continued to support her financially. Unfortunately, in the 3rd year, my cousin still didn't pass. We all urged her to stop and find a job, but she refused to enter the workforce. I once heard a saying, sometimes we do something not because we love it, but because we're avoiding something else. In my cousin's case, is she truly passionate about pursuing graduate school? Not necessarily. Otherwise, she wouldn't spend time playing video games, watching movies, or scrolling through TikTok during critical study periods. For her, the graduate exam became an excuse to avoid finding a job. As adults, everyone has the right to decide their own lives. You can choose to avoid work, but don't make your parents pay for your decisions. Moreover, avoidance solves nothing and only complicates matters. Faced with an uncertain future, instead of hiding behind your parents, it's better to face life bravely and grow up on your own. 2. Borrowing money from parents under the pretense of entrepreneurship. I once saw a show called Gold Mediation where a story left a deep impression. Ms. Su's son, Xiao Jiang, was obsessed with entrepreneurship, wanting to achieve financial freedom through it. His parents fully supported his first venture, even giving him all their savings. However, due to inexperience, the business failed, leaving him in debt. Unable to bear the thought of her son being chased by debt collectors, Ms. Su helped pay off most of his debts. She hoped he would settle down with a stable job, but to her surprise, Xiao Jiang still insisted on pursuing his entrepreneurial dream. Under his relentless persuasion, Ms. Su mortgaged their only house for a loan of 800,000 yuan, which was all invested into his new business. Entrepreneurship and gambling are often just one step apart, and in Xiao Jiang's case, this was no exception. Refusing to accept failure, he gambled on another attempt. But instead of achieving his dreams, he drained his family's resources and exhausted his parents' trust. As always, one can pursue freedom and the life they desire, but not at the expense of their parents' stability. If you want to start a business, use your abilities to earn money and build your career, rather than relying on your parents' financial support. Parents are not meant to clean up your messes. They've grown old, and their retirement savings should be their safety net, not the cost of their children's failed pursuits. Some children ask for money under the guise of borrowing, but in reality, they're simply taking it. Parents, out of love and trust, hand over their savings without hesitation. If we can't give more back to our parents, at least we shouldn't continuously drain their resources, leaving them with nothing to rely on in their later years. 3. Using helping with grandchildren as an excuse for filial piety. You've likely heard this reasoning: isn't it natural for grandparents to help with the kids? We're busy working all day, can't the elders lend a hand? Some even argue that grandparents long for the joy of having grandchildren around, and helping out is good for their mental well-being. Nowadays, young couples often rely on their parents to help raise their children, even moving back in for convenience. But this not only burdens the parents with childcare responsibilities, it also adds financial strain. This undoubtedly places a heavy load on their later years. True filial piety is not about relying on parents for financial support or exhausting their energy under the guise of family happiness. Real filial responsibility is ensuring that parents can enjoy their later years in peace, without worry. I firmly believe that, compared to helping raise children or doing household chores, what parents truly long for is the freedom to travel, explore the beauty of the country, and live a carefree life. They want to savor the joys of life during their travels, without worrying about daily necessities. Parents and children are on a journey that grows further apart over time. When it comes to life, parents cannot always lead the charge. Children must learn to face life independently and bear their own responsibilities. Some people categorize the above 3 types as a new form of parasitic behavior. In essence, it's about using seemingly respectable excuses, studying, entrepreneurship, or enjoying family life, to depend on parents. Most parents find it difficult to refuse such requests, even seeing their children's desires as ambitions worth supporting. However, children may always remain their parents' children at home, but in society, they cannot stay children forever. Eventually, parents will leave their children's lives, and the remaining journey will have to be walked alone. Parents can support for a time, but not for a lifetime. For a brighter future, parents should remember 3 principles. Set boundaries. Writer Zhou Guoping once said, "The sense of boundaries is the hallmark of mature love." It means respecting the necessary distance between individuals, which shows respect for the other's independent personality. Parents need to recognize their limits. Some things can be managed, money can be lent, but there must be boundaries. Once these boundaries are crossed, no matter what happens, stop helping. Have principles. Parents should offer unconditional but principled love, rather than unprincipled, conditional love. For children who are lazy or unmotivated, no amount of money will help. These children will not be grateful, no matter how much you give. It's better to leave a safety net for yourself. Set limits. When parents use all their savings to support their children, have they thought about what to do if they get sick or how they'll secure their retirement? Parents should love their children deeply, but they must also love themselves enough to set limits. There's a saying, parents' world is small, filled only with us. Our world is vast, and we often overlook them. They often forget we've grown up, just as we forget they're getting old. Loving children is a parental instinct, but loving parents is a human duty. As our parents raise us, we should accompany them through their old age. Treating parents well in their later years is also treating our future selves well. All beautiful relationships in this world are reciprocal, and the love between parents and children should flow both ways. Temporary parasitism may be unavoidable, but it shouldn't be a long-term plan. The only thing that can help us endure life's challenges is our own effort. Alright, we'll stop sharing here today. Thank you for watching. I hope the content shared resonates with you. For those who haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click subscribe, so we can accompany you every day.